because nobody cared to ask me any questions. so so y'all remember that when you decided the next Quant today you want to ask me some really, really good stuff, and I just pick over and choose what I want to answer and what I don't. You had every opportunity because I was answering all questions. So just to remind anybody who might be seeing this for the first time, Quant Day is going down every fourth Saturday, and it was gonna be live stream too, but like I said, nobody was really cared to know much about it. Some of the things I say, I fully realize apply to only me. People who love me also know this, but even when I'm speaking as if other average people will understand what I'm saying, and they don't, and that's okay. It's okay. Keeps my social circle narrow as it should be, and eliminates dumbasses. And that's another thing. I'm gonna work on my my profanity, because I got a potty mouth, and it just gets, the more comfortable I get, the worse it gets. Fuck. Yeah. Now, a couple of years ago, when I first got on YouTube, a guy that used to watch my videos asked me this question. What he asked me was if I thought marriage was for everyone. And I get the question not often but regularly enough from insightful people. I don't know, let me just address the question. The question was from the guy was, do you think marriage is for everyone? And my answer to that was, I never did do a video because at that time I was also doing movie reviews, and we all know that fell off too, even though I kept watching movies. And maybe I'll pick that back up, maybe I won't. I'm being very random, as you know, on the channel, because I think that's what YouTube channels were originally to be about. So I think marriage is only for everyone who has the ability to love themselves as well as someone else. And so ultimately, no, marriage is not for selfish motherfuckers who are consumed with just what themselves and what they feel, nor is it for insecure people who pour all their love into someone else and loses themselves in it. So it's not for those people either. Having themselves together first. So there are so few people that are balanced in this world, and people blame it on marriage in general. And in fact, they I've seen so many articles lately, and I have people for whom I have love, and for people who I love deeply, who feel the same way, where we are basically saying that the institution of marriage is so screwed up, then maybe polygamy really is the answer. Maybe an open relationship, because if is the answer. My response to that is that is very true. If that's your thing, and if you are into an open relationship, that's cool. If you are just sexually explorative with yourself enough to where it can't be focused on one person that you love and that loves you, then that's your thing, and that's okay. The thing about that is, most of the people who say, and their excuse for it is that maybe it's not in mankind to be monogamous. That's okay for you. It's not okay for me. That's okay for you. And if that's how you really feel, that's okay. But again, the excuse I hear is that maybe it's in mankind's nature to be sexually explorative with a number of people. That's okay too. But in a primary argument is that it's it's natural, it's human nature. That's fine. But when you get jealous in the process of your open relationship, and then you can't say anything because you've agreed to it, but you're experiencing jealousy, is that not also natural? You know, because if we leaned on the fact that it was human nature to want to be sexually explorative with other people, then you need to deny your natural instinct that of jealousy that comes into play. Then, you know, if you're gonna make it okay. Now, on the other hand, some of you bitches that tolerate it anyway, and the dude just cheat on you, and you just dealing with it or not saying anything or forgiving and going back repeatedly and so on and so forth. Then you go ahead and knock yourself out, you know, for this dude. Like, I saw a celebrity on, I won't say what on, but she was asking people about it, and it's obvious that she's doing that for some dude that made her, how, who knows how, because this chick has so many fans, I'll say, because they don't know her, but so many fans, you know, so many people that will be in her corner, so many dudes that will drink her dirty bath water. But apparently some dude has her sprung and has her considering an open relationship. Knock yourself out. But in a lot of cases, you know, people are writing. I see the last few articles I see, and last week alone I saw 3 headlined articles, so some of you may have seen it too, on the internet, about open relationships, and maybe that's the thing, maybe that's the answer. And it seems like it makes all the sense in the world, since marriage, you know, everybody blaming it on the institution of marriage. Maybe it's how you have executed what marriage should be, but I can only say should be for me, but what marriage should be. And so, you know, take responsibility for your poor execution if that's what it is. But again, if that's what you think is good and if that's what works for you, that's fine. But in these same articles, I will hear a person say, you know, all these things about the open marriage and how people don't understand and whatever, okay. And I'm fair in my judgment. However, these same people instinctively say, you know, discuss problems within this open relationship that will be resolved with monogamy, mutual monogamy, you know. But again, you have agreed whether it, and it's always something with an open relationship. It's either one person that really wants to screw around with other people, and the other person just goes along with it, which causes problem in and of itself. Or you just, you know, weak, and so this person has you, which amounts to the same thing really. But this one particular article talked about her open relationship and how her friends really probably wouldn't understand, and you know, whatever, blah blah. And she talked about how her you know, they have another couple in their lives, and how her husband's lover was with him a little bit earlier before she got home. Not a problem, because they have an open relationship. And then she says she walks home, you know, and there were flowers on the table, obviously for her husband, to thank him for, you know, the good time they had in their bed just before she got home. And so she was looking, and she made it be about, to justify, because in her mind she's like, you know, why were these flowers left just out on the open why did she put them on the table, you know, just right where I would see them when I came in? This was her thought process. And so it ended up being that she kind of wrapped it up as, you know, she's trying to mark her territory, so to speak. The lover is marking her territory in this woman's house. I won't say home, because they're not building a home, but in her house with this guy that she has labeled her husband, because, you know, from my definition of a marriage, that's not. But yeah, so now she has these jealousy issues of this woman marking her territory in her home, and it makes all the sense in the world. So I'm looking at all the comments under it, and of course, you know, everybody is being judgmental, in some cases justifiably, but in some cases just plain old judgmental. And there are sporadic people that are like, yeah, well, I live my life like this and people don't understand, blah 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 blah. And there was one particular comment that stood out to me that wrapped it up and said, not stood out to me in agreement, it just stood out, it was true. But so the comment was, wow, there sure are a lot of judgmental comments here. Okay. But the whole article, the intent of the article was to, you know, confirm that being in an open marriage is okay. But the ultimate lesson learned in this article is that apparently your open relationship is not okay with you. Because if it was okay with you, when you walked in and saw the bouquet of flowers for your husband from his lover who was just with him a couple of hours before you walked through the door, would not be an indication of her marking her territory. So I don't know if that female got in, you know, built this open relationship based on his urging. I don't know if she built a relationship in order to keep him because she knows she would, that he was going to be cheating on her in a relationship or what have you. You know, if you're okay with it, you know, if you are really okay with it, you can look at those flowers and be like, oh, that's sweet. Candace left you a bouquet of flowers. I'm not gonna touch it, that's for you. I'm not gonna touch it, that's for you. And he'd be like, no, go ahead, smell them. They smell so great. And apparently this female always does this. You know, she always, you know, marks one of her men, I guess, between her husband and her husband, her own husband and her somebody else's. See, so that's my thing. If you're in an open relationship, just don't call it a relationship. It's not a relationship. It's just a, you know, everybody fucking everybody in agreement. That's what it is. Just, that's all it is. And that's okay. Because if you're going to have any inkling of jealousy anywhere on any level, which I find to be natural for most people. I'm not a jealous person, but that's because we built our ish on, you know, something genuine. And we actually are friends. I'm sorry, it tickles me. You know, y'all, okay, y'all laugh at me when my ish falls apart. That's okay, do that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna laugh at y'all. Y'all just, y'all stupid. Y'all are crazy. And it's okay if you really are a sexual person, you know, to females, you know, everybody gives guys an okay. But you know, there are some men. Those are men I call men, because guys that cannot control their nuts are not men, you know, because that just amounts to y'all some special skanks. And y'all some special skanks together. That's okay. It's just not necessarily a relationship, because there's something you're going to be able to share with X number of other people just as closely, just as intimately, if not more so in some cases, than you can with that person. That's not... Again, this is all opinion. You're going to do what you're going to do. You know, you're going to accept and tolerate what you're going to accept and tolerate. That's okay. But everybody knows I'm not the kind of person to ask something if you don't want to know the truth. So if you're down with an open relationship, I don't never want to hear your jealousy drama. Unless I love you. If you somebody I love, I'll hear it. But when I talk shit, then usually you absorb it. Unless you got a logical defense for the stuff I'm talking. You know what that means? That means if you love your chick, don't bring her to the VIP. 'Cause I might be with your chick, just keeping it real.